Yo, what is good, everyone? Welcome to the Fantasy Football Prodigy channel, and in this video, I am once again going to be setting my lineups across my 4 fantasy football leagues for Week 11 of the 2021 fantasy football season. We did already see the Thursday night game between the Falcons and the Patriots for Week 11, but we are recording this on Sunday, very, very early Sunday morning, and we got some games coming up to set our lineups for. We are also going to recap Week 10 across all the leagues, go over the transactions, and then get into setting our lineups. And we got half PPR, non-PPR, full PPR, 1 quarterback, 2 quarterback. We got all sorts of start-sit decisions to make, so I'm excited to get into this. So without further ado, let's get right into it. This is the first league we're going to go over. This is a non-PPR 1 quarterback league. I was able to get the win. My DeBugling Buffaloes team won 119.5 to 73.6. We're now 7-3 in this league. And yeah, I want to spend less time actually doing the recaps, but you can see the scores. I don't need to say too much. Stevenson and AJ Dillon both dominated. And then Deebo Samuel went crazy like always. He actually caused me to lose in another league. We will go over that. But we're doing okay without Derrick Henry and Calvin Ridley. No Montgomery. Antonio Brown was out. So I'll take a win. And we actually had a pretty good point total, even without all those guys. So that's good to see. And then in terms of transactions, did we do anything really crazy? Yeah, someone in our league dropped Chase Edmonds, and I only had 8 fab points left out of 200. I picked him up, and I got him. So, and I don't know if we have a $200 budget at the start of the year. I have 8 left, so now I have 0 left. But if he's out there, I would recommend adding him. He has a high ankle sprain. I know that can take some time to come back from, but there's still a lot of football left this year, and you know, I think he was only expected to miss like a few weeks, so even if it goes beyond that, he's still worth at least having on your team, in my opinion, especially if you can put him on an IR spot. And then we also picked up the 49ers defense and dropped the Steelers. And I did drop Jordan Howard to pick up Chase Edmonds because Miles Sanders is returning this week for the Philadelphia Eagles. So this is our matchup that we have to go over this week. I don't think my opponent had anyone. No. Okay. Well, we did have Rhamondre Stevenson on Thursday night, and he had a pretty good game. I was deciding between him and Mike Davis. At the time, I wasn't sure if Elijah Mitchell for the 49ers was going to play on Sunday or not. If I would have known for sure that Elijah Mitchell was going to be out, I would have just put Jeff Wilson into my lineup. But I decided to play Rhamondre and just go with the good matchup against Atlanta, even with Damian Harris coming back. I thought, let's put Rhamondre Stevenson out there. It turns out that Elijah Mitchell is doubtful as of this recording. He probably won't be playing for the 49ers, which means Jeff Wilson will be starting. So even though I'm not starting him in this league, I do like him as a start this week, just because he should be the starter for the 49ers. They're a good run team. So I wish I had a time machine so I could put him in for Rhamondre, but Rhamondre did okay. 7.5 points, that's fine. And for the rest of the lineup, this is pretty much it. Really no other decisions to make. Tom Brady's locked in every week for me. I'm going to play David Montgomery. I like him a lot this week. I like him a lot pretty much every week. And then AJ Dillon filling in for an injured Aaron Jones. He's going to get the start against Minnesota. This is why I've been stashing him all year, just in case he ever gets a starting role. And we get to take advantage of that this week against my Minnesota Vikings. At wide receiver, Deebo is an auto start every week. And then DJ Moore has been struggling. My hope is that he's playing a bad Washington football defense, plus Cam Newton is making his first start for the Panthers. So I'm hoping Cam Newton captures some magic against that bad defense and gets DJ Moore the ball, because he has been struggling lately. And Antonio Brown was someone that I would consider starting, probably maybe over DJ Moore, but he's not playing, so we don't have to worry about that. And Derrick Henry and Calvin Ridley are obviously still out. So that's pretty much it. We're starting the 49ers defense against Jacksonville, and I got the Packers kicker, Mason Crosby. Moving on to this league, this is a half PPR 2 quarterback league, and I had an awful week. I thought I was going to win. I had a big lead on my opponent, and Deebo Samuel ended up beating me. And if you guys are watching the game, it was 4th and 6. The 49ers had the ball. They were around midfield. They clearly won the game. The game was over, but they went for it on 4th down just to if they get the first down, just end the game. And they threw it to Deebo Samuel, and not only did he catch it and get the first down, he broke a bunch of tackles and ran all the way to the house for a long touchdown. And it was on that play that I lost this matchup. So Deebo had 27.8 points, and I only lost by 6. So he needed to have an elite game for fantasy, and he did. And what makes it even worse is that this person that I played against in this league, I actually traded Deebo Samuel to him in our Dynasty League in the preseason. In return, I got Chase Claypool, who long-term, we'll see what happens, but this year Chase Claypool has been nothing. Deebo has been an absolute stud. So in hindsight, I regret that trade because I'm a contender in that league, and we will go over that league as well. But man, that is a bummer that I made that trade. But yeah, he was starting Taysom Hill last week, who isn't even the full-time starter there, and he played a wide receiver in his Superflex, and he still got the win. It just hurts. We had a rough week. I had to play Jared Goff. He had 4.5. Teddy Bridgewater only had 9 because Kyler Murray was out. Zach Wilson injured. So my quarterbacks suck in this league other than Kyler, and Kyler has been hurt. So that sucks a lot. But Aaron Jones did pretty good. James Robinson did pretty well. Devontae Adams did okay. No one really had a great game. I mean, Kelsey and Connor, those guys all had some decent games, like 10 to the teens range. No one had a blow-up game. DJ Moore and Emmanuel Sanders didn't do much. And my quarterbacks, they sucked. So it is what it is. I did not play A.J. Dillon because at the time he was still in a timeshare with Aaron Jones. I luckily started A.J. Dillon in that previous league just because I have no depth in that league, just because with all the injuries and stuff. But in this league, with Aaron Jones, Robinson, Connor, I just wasn't able to get him in the lineup. But we are going to be playing him this week, and we will talk about that in one moment after we go over our transactions. And we do have a few key things to talk about at that quarterback position that we're struggling with. So in Superflex leagues, it is very important. For the most part, you're always going to want to play a quarterback in your Superflex. I have been putting Jared Goff in there sometimes, and I'm not going to lie, he's one of the few cases where maybe it's better to not play a quarterback because he's been dreadful lately. But I just dropped him because, 1, he's been horrible. But 2, I need someone to start this week at quarterback/Superflex. So I dropped Jared Goff for Joe Flacco. Obviously, that's never a good sign, but, desperate times call for desperate measures. He's going to be starting for us against the Miami Dolphins. I'm just hoping if he gets 2 touchdowns, I'm thanking the fantasy gods. Other than that, in this Superflex, Kyler Murray is currently, it's looking like he's not going to play. So if he plays, Kyler Murray will be starting for me in the Superflex. If he's out, which he is expected to be, with Zach Wilson out, we really don't. Oh, and with Zach Wilson out and Teddy Bridgewater on bye, I was trying to figure out who's my other quarterback that I'm missing. Teddy Bridgewater, he's on bye. So without those guys, probably without Kyler Murray, I also have to make a move to pick up another quarterback. My first claim is to pick up Ben Roethlisberger and drop Zach Wilson. My next is to pick up Tim Boyle, who is filling in for Jared Goff, who is injured, and dropping Zach Wilson, just because I need a start this week. And then other than that, this is a pro tip. I have Travis Kelce, but I did just free up a roster spot because Sterling Shepard was ruled out. I was able to put him on my IR spot. So I looked ahead. It's week 11. Week 12, Travis Kelce is on bye. So Noah Fant just got dropped in our league. So I put in a claim for Noah Fant. Hopefully we do get him. How much do I have to bid if I wanted to? I don't even know. I'm just going to put in a $0 bid though. And then I also put in claims for Jarvis Landry and Robbie Anderson, because even though they haven't been great, if you have a free roster spot, you always want to pick up someone, either someone who has some value like those guys, or maybe a handcuff running back in the case of an injury. So I decided to kind of make some plays for those guys, especially because, maybe one of them catches on a little bit down the stretch. Because his third wide receiver spot, I used to think Emmanuel Sanders was good there, but he's been a little shaky lately. DJ Moore hasn't been the best, so any wide receiver who has any chance of eventually having a pulse, if I can fit him on my team, I'll do it. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the quarterbacks and the transactions and all that. AJ Dillon is an auto start this week. I don't care, and I don't have really anyone else to play over him, so he's in there. I love him this week, filling in for Aaron Jones. James Robinson, he's projected to play as of now, so he's in there. If he doesn't play and I have to make a change, I will comment it down below and put it in the description, but as of now, James Robinson is in there. And then James Conner, still with no Chase Edmonds. It's a smash play. I talk about him in my most recent Stardom Sit-em video for Week 11, but I love James Conner this week. My only worry is that the offense could struggle if Kyler Murray is out, and actually, who would be starting for Kyler Murray? Let me see. Is it Colt McCoy? So Colt McCoy is questionable. Okay, I'm just going to leave my claims the way they are. But Other than that, Devontae Adams is an auto start. DJ Moore, it's the same thing as the other league. I'm just hoping he does something. And then Emmanuel Sanders, hopefully the Bills can throw on the Colts a little bit. And then Kelsey is obviously an auto start. I'm not playing Singletary in a horrible matchup against the Colts. Chuba, with McCaffrey back, he's not doing much. And then Michael Gallup. Even though this projects to be a high-scoring game, and I don't hate Michael Gallup, I am going to stick with Sanders just because I don't know. We'll see. Anything could happen. And then Adrian Peterson against Houston, I could see him doing well, but I'm not going to play him over any of those guys. And, when I say I could see him doing well, that basically means I could see him falling into the end zone and, getting maybe 10 points or something. But moving on. So that was a half PPR league. That was also so these are all redraft leagues so far. This was an auction draft. The other one was a snake draft. This was also a snake draft. This is a full PPR 2-quarterback, or should I say Superflex league. This is our matchup from last week. We did get the win, the Albuquerque Heisenberg. We won pretty easily. Looks like we had one of the most points in the league. Looks like the second most. Team Larson scored more than us. But yeah, I don't want to spend too much time on this, but you can see Josh Allen, Dalvin Cook, Hunter Renfrow, Patrick Mahomes, and Daryl Williams. Those guys all went crazy. And we did have 2 gooses in our lineup, Russell Gage and TJ Hawkinson. But you know what? It didn't matter. The other guys carried. Other than that, really nothing of note on the bench. We were without Calvin Ridley and Antonio Brown. Russell Wilson came back from injury and looked pretty bad. And Damian Harris was out with an injury, but in the end, none of that really mattered. Looking at the recent activity for transactions, we dropped Jeremy McNichols. I think I had to do that to activate someone from IR or something. I don't remember. But we added Sterling Shepard and dropped Russell Gage from the waiver wire. I picked up Darnell Mooney because I need someone to play this week at wide receiver. And then I added Harrison Butker and dropped Matt Gay just because I need a new kicker this week because the Rams are on bye. And also, I forgot to do one thing in this previous league. If I look at the scoreboard, okay, so my opponent hasn't played anyone on Thursday. It looks like no. And you can see our matchup here. He doesn't have the best team, but we're also down bad right now, so we'll see how that goes. But back to the league I was just talking about. We did play Damian Harris on Thursday night. He had 7.5 points against Atlanta. Okay, whatever. It's an okay start to the week, I guess. But Josh Allen is locked in there, obviously. Patrick Mahomes, he had a great week last week, and now he gets Dallas. This could be a shootout. If it is, he's going to be awesome. If not, he'll still be good. Hopefully. And then, man, our wide receiver core is just decimated. No Calvin Ridley, no Antonio Brown. Sterling Shepard is out. Cordero Patterson didn't play on Thursday, so we didn't have him. So we are down bad right now. But we got to make do with what we have. So I'm sticking with Tyler Lockett against Arizona, hoping Russell Wilson looks better this week than he did last week, and I just don't have better options. Hunter Renfrow, especially in a full PPR league like this, he's always solid to see a nice number of targets, and he's pretty reliable for a good number of catches each week. And then Darnell Mooney against Baltimore, I'm playing him. I was going to play him no matter what. Now Allen Robinson is listed as doubtful. I don't know if that's good or bad for Mooney, because maybe that means they can give more attention to Mooney, or maybe that means Mooney will get more targets. I don't know. We'll have to see how it plays out. But yeah, I'm playing Mooney over Kadarius Toney, even with Sterling Shepard out. I liked Toney at one point, but he just hasn't done much in a while, man. I mean, he had that 200-yard almost game, and then since then he's been kind of overshadowed there. So that's what I'm doing as of now. And then even though Clyde Edwards-Helaire is projected to come back, last I heard, I am going to stick with Daryl Williams in this game against Dallas just because I projected to be a high-scoring game. I think Daryl Williams will still catch a handful of passes, and I think he will still be involved, especially because Clyde Edwards-Helaire is coming back from injury. I think maybe they'll ease him into his workload a little bit. And Daryl Williams has been great filling in for Clyde, so I think he will continue to have a role. And then even though Hawkinson goosed, I am going to stick with him against Cleveland. So, yeah, the only real tough decision was, do I play Jalen Hurts? And no, I'm going to play Josh Allen and Mahomes over them. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So, other than that, we're going to move on to our last league, and this is a Dynasty League. And just make sure, I don't think my opponent played anyone, and it says he has 0. Okay. He's currently playing Jarvis Landry in the Superflex. What? What is he doing? He'll probably put Taylor Heineke in there? I don't know. Listen, I don't know what he's doing. Anyways, let's move on. Unless am I reading this wrong? I'm not. He's just, okay, whatever. I don't know. Anyways, this is the Dynasty League, half PPR. We were able to get the win, the big win, 119.9 to 69.78. This is pretty much what happened, man. Tom Brady had a pretty not great game for his standards, but Jonathan Taylor, James Robinson, and Daryl Williams carried me. George Kittle also had another good game. I did not start him his first game back from injury, but I started him this week, and he did not disappoint. Other than that, Mike Williams continues to struggle. Cortland Sutton and Jerry Jeudy didn't do much for me. And yeah, that's pretty much all there is to say about that. Looking at the benches, didn't really miss out on too much, but we were without Sanders and still Calvin Ridley and Hopkins and Claypool. We were without a lot of people last week, and we still got a nice win. So that was good to see, but it sucks to have some of these people missing. In terms of transactions, I don't even know if I did anything in this league. I did trade for Antonio Brown and the Cardinals defense. Antonio Brown is going to be out for this game for week 11, but I'm going to be playing the Cardinals defense. I did make a whole video about that trade if you want to look back. It's something about like a win now trade for like Dynasty football. I'll go over a bunch of other win now trades versus kind of like rebuilding type of trades. So if you want to check that out, I do have that as well. But for this week, Tom Brady, I expect a bounce back game against the Giants. Jonathan Taylor, even against Buffalo, they're a good defense. You're never going to sit Jonathan Taylor. You never sit him. If he has a bad game, you live with it. I did, unfortunately, play Mike Davis, man. I did play him in this league just because I had a lot of people questionable, looking like they were maybe going to be out. So I played Mike Davis. What I really should have done is just said, look, I don't care if Clyde Edwards-Helaire is back or not. I'm playing Daryl Williams. I wish I had a time machine so I could just put Darrel in for Mike Davis, because Mike Davis only had 3.6 points in this half PPR league, so that's unfortunate. And my opponent did have the Patriots defense. I'll show you that in a second. But Joe Mixon against Vegas, that's a lock. And then James Robinson, last I heard, he is projected to play. So if he plays, he's in. Again, if I have to make any changes, I will comment it down below. But I'm assuming he's playing in the couple leagues that I have him. And then other than that, I'm playing 3 wide receivers. This is a 2 flex league. Sorry, there's sirens. My apologies. But they're all playing in the night games. So Mike Williams and Chase Claypool on the night games, and then Chris Godwin on Monday night. These 2 on Sunday night. So Mike Williams has been disappointing lately. Tough matchup against Pittsburgh, but I don't have any other options. Chase Claypool, he's been disappointing lately, but I don't have any other options. And then Chris Godwin, he's a good play, and I like playing him. So George Kittle, he's my main tight end. And then I'm playing the Cardinals defense against Seattle right now. I also have the Chargers against Pittsburgh. The Bears against Baltimore. I'm going to stick with the Cardinals just because Russell Wilson didn't look that good last week. Hopefully they can get some sacks, maybe get an interception or 2. And the Cardinals have been a great defense this year, so I'm just going to stick with that. And other than that, I wish I put Daryl Williams in there, or maybe even Miles Sanders. I wasn't sure if he was going to come back during the Thursday night game. Probably would have rather played him against the Saints, even in a tough matchup. We are without DeAndre Hopkins. No Hopkins, no Sutton, no Antonio Brown. We have Marvin Jones on our team, but he's been terrible lately. Jerry Jeudy's on bye as well. So we're down bad. Calvin Ridley on IR too. So we have some stuff to, we have some holes to fill, but hopefully this lineup can get that done. And then before we end off the video, like I said, my opponent already played the Patriots defense. So 28 points. That's tough, but he has Amari Cooper in his lineup who is out, and Hollywood Brown is also out. So he's down a few people. Who could he really put in there? No Edmonds, no Robert Woods. Beckham's on bye. Michael Gallup, I guess, and maybe Darius Slayton. I don't know. He's got no Cam Akers. So yeah, he's missing some people as well. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, guys, I just like to make these videos to kind of show you my process when I'm setting my lineups. Maybe you have some similar start-sit decisions, or you want to know what I think about certain players. I think it's just kind of valuable. It's just a fun thing I do if you care. But yeah, that's going to do it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Make sure to drop a like if you enjoyed the video, and make sure to subscribe to the channel as well so you can see when I'm posting new content. And I'll talk to you guys later. Peace out.